Hey Clear Lake peeps, Ross England here with Clear Lake Guide Service with your Clear Lake report for May 30th, 2024. Sorry that I missed you last week. In pure fairness, I was chasing smallmouth for 3 days on St. Clair and Lake Michigan, in Michigan. Fun times. Those of you who've watched for a while know how much I love smallmouth. That was a fun beat down. Then I came back here. Oh my goodness. Okay. Bob's done a good job of keeping you up to speed with what's going on, and especially down on his end of the lake. Pretty different conditions than up on the end of the lake that I've fished this week. I've been out Monday through today, so I've been out 4 days this week. Conditions haven't changed really very much at all during that whole 4-day period. Start with water temperature. This is one of the biggest differences, I think, between the upper part of the lake and down at the bottom, the Rattlesnake Arm. Starting temperature has been around 68.5 to 69, and has worked its way up to today when I got off the water, 71.5. So pretty big temperature difference between the upper bowl and down in the Rattlesnake Arm. So, and that was actually as far down as Anderson Island. Not to say that there isn't some different water temperatures around, even on the upper end of the lake, if you can find, a real protected pocket or whatnot. But the mornings have been cooler and the wind has blown quite a bit. Lake level continues to drop. It's at 6.83 today, dropping at a rate of about 1/4 foot per week. So right around 3 inches per week. And it feels weird because you'll be around, and I know some of you will view this video and say, I was just out there and there's a 1.5 foot of green slime on the rocks. Yeah, I know. Just going by what the gauge says. It's funny because you continue to look at that gauge and it peaks every late afternoon as that water changes and moves from one end to the other. So currently 6.83 feet. Clarity, the clearest that I could see this week was about 3.5 feet. And I couldn't really tell what was down there at 3.5 feet. All I could do was say, okay, that's bottom at 3.5 feet. Most, what I saw around the lake, 2 feet or less. But the water quality is actually pretty good, I think, for this time of year. I really didn't run into any algae blooms on the surface. There's a number of different water colors out there, anywhere from, a real pretty green color that, is like what we're used to seeing in the winter, to, kind of stained, muddy water type color, and everything in between. And the other part of that is, just because you see it one color today doesn't mean it's going to be that way tomorrow in the same place. I saw that moving around, as it kind of moves around all over the place. So I couldn't really, Monday, I did see some bedfish, and the ones I saw were, they were just in 2 to 2.5 feet of water. So the fact that it was a 3-day weekend and on Monday there were still some fish on beds, I thought, wow, that's amazing. So anyway, that is what I've got for conditions. Still don't have any areas that I've seen where weeds have topped out. There's a lot of areas that weeds just simply are not growing this year, just like last year. Don't know what the reason, but those of us who like to fish topwater around some of that topped out stuff where it mats up really well. I don't know where it's going to happen. I haven't seen it yet. Haven't even seen it close. You know, going through some areas with my sonar running, it's just not there. So it'll be interesting to see how the next month develops. Upcoming activities. New Gen team is Saturday. They've got permits pulled for 2 days, for Saturday and Sunday, and I'm not sure what the deal is with that. But when I went back, and I was going to do this report yesterday, but I thought, I don't know what their tournament was. So I checked on their website, and it's a team event, regularly scheduled for Saturday only. As far as I know, that's about it for all that stuff. Fishing, having really struggled before we went to Michigan, came back, and I had actually heard from a couple of people while I was gone that, you know, the bite had improved. At least most of the people that I have run into this week do say that they've caught fish. That's an improvement in itself. My days have probably improved a little bit as well. Not so much in numbers, but quality. I caught fish Monday on, all I did was through top water, and I caught fish Monday on top water. Tuesday, all I did was fished a shaky head, and I caught fish on a shaky head. I think I had 8 fish. Every one of them was a better fish than the topwater fish was, for whatever reason. I probably had a 21 or 22 pound limit. Then yesterday we did have 2 topwater fish. Had a couple of missed opportunities, and the rest of them were drop shotting. Today, 1 fish came up and did everything but ate a topwater bait, and that was the only opportunity that we had. And then I think we ended up with 8 fish that were all drop shot fish. I guess yesterday we had 2 underspin fish too. So anyway, that's my report for what it's worth. Keep up the good work, Bob, with all your information coming in. I should be able to put out another report if I go fishing next week. I've got a couple weeks off. Was supposed to be in Idaho next week, and I traded the Idaho trip for the Michigan trip, and honestly, I'm not sorry about it, other than Debbie wasn't there. So very, very good time, quality time. Reminded me of when we lived back there in Fish Lake Erie. It's just a different fishery. Way more fun. So I think that's probably it. So you all have a good weekend. Good luck if you're fishing tournament this weekend, and with any luck, we'll see you next week. Thanks.